He said the word verbatim. He was like, I don't want any kids.
I'm going to be talking about how passport sisters want to travel to these Asian countries where they're clearly not wanted. And that's just not coming from me. We're going to hear it from their own mouths and their own experiences. Even from a well-known YouTuber who had an incident where she was assaulted in China. For those who don't know, she got punched in the eye by one of her colleagues.
Hello, my name is Olusindiso. I'm from South Africa. I'm currently based in Shanghai, China, and I work as a kindergarten teacher. On Wednesday, August 23rd, during a disagreement, the HR manager at my job, a guy, punched me on my face.
Now, that video went viral all over YouTube as she's South African, but before that incident happened, she was residing in South Korea, where she talks about the dating scene and how it went for her.
I always thought I was making stuff up, that maybe it's just me, I'm the problem. Maybe it's the kind of men that I go for and the kind of choices that I make in my dating life. Yes, those have played a role, but it is also statistically proven that it is extremely difficult in general, extremely difficult for Black women and Asian men to date. Asian men in the West have a really hard time dating, and Black women in Asian countries have an extremely hard time finding partners because we are at the bottom of the food chain. We are the least chosen ones, not just by Asian men, by Europeans, Americans, Africans, just everybody chooses us last. So take that into consideration if you're a Black person, Black woman moving to an Asian country. I am a Black woman who has had a difficult time finding a potential partner here because the sifting process often needs to be very, very detailed. Like, I look at every single thing. I need to know your intentions. Are you dating me because all your other options are exhausted and you couldn't find somebody interested in you? Or are you dating me because you saw Nolu and thought, okay, she's beautiful, I would really like to get to know her? So I've had an extremely difficult time finding potential partners because of that. And by the way, if I had not said it already, I am single now.
We're going to look at what are these Asian countries' beauty standards when it comes to finding a partner.
Can you introduce yourself and say where you're from?
I'm Shade Otani. I'm a 3D artist. I am from Japan and Jamaica. Half of this.
Is there one thing about living in Japan that you don't like?
The beauty standards. I'm half Black, so it's really hard to fit in sometimes. When you're like dark skin, hair texture and just skin color, I used to get bullied for it in Bali and Japan because I was different and because I wasn't the beauty standard, so it was really hard to fit in. But I think a lot of, like, there's a minority of people that fetishize it in a way. That like hip-hop, Japanese people that do braids, they're like, oh, hello, like we have the same hair texture and whatnot. It's very different.
Have you ever dated a Japanese person?
No.
No. Why is that?
Japanese guys, can you tell me the answer to the question? Really? I have no idea. I don't know. I think, to be honest, nobody talks to me. Nobody ever No, they never talk to me. They never try to invite me out. There's another reason. That's from my side. I think when I first moved to Japan, I lived in the countryside, and I come from a very proud culture, you know, where all types of people are beautiful, where Black is beautiful, your body type doesn't matter, that kind of stuff. And when I moved to Japan, I noticed people were very obsessed with everything that was white or Caucasian. Like, people were bleaching their skin, whitening their skin for the posters. During summertime, everybody covered their skin. And all the men were very, very, like, weirdly obsessed with white women, Caucasian women, especially women with blonde hair. And my first couple of months here, I was watching it and I was like, what is this? At that time, I said, whoa, this is weird. This is very different. Now I don't care. But I think back then I was like, you know what? This is the society. They're really in love with white women. So I just kind of shut off my mind from Japanese men. And then I think it never really changed.
In Korea, it's very obvious that like white is the standard. White is like preferred, like a lighter shade. And if a white girl and a black girl were like standing next to each other, I feel like 9 times out of 10 they would choose the white girl because it's kind of what they've been shown as popular and mainstream and attractive. So yeah, I mean, there are the odd cases where Korean guys are dating black girls, but fingers crossed, you know? Yeah, you never know. Because me, I don't have a type. Like, I like every black, white, Asian, whatever. But I feel like they look at me and that's like the last option.
So now we're gonna take a look at these street interviews done by K Explorer, where he interviews different black females and allows them to elaborate on their negative dating experiences in these Asian countries.
Do you have like any unique experiences so far, like going out on dates?
The last guy I went on a date with, and he asked me, and like I was asking him and stuff, and I like standard questions, you know, like, have you ever been with a foreign girl? Have you ever been with like a black woman and everything? And when I asked him that, he's like, yeah, but I don't think I want any N-word kids. He said, I don't think I would want any N-word kids because they would get bullied here in Korea. I said, I almost jumped out of my seat. I said, so like, why that word? Why couldn't you just say you don't want any black kids? But you use a nice hard word.
Wait, he said N-word kids, not, or did he like use the word like?
No, he said the word verbatim. He was like, I don't want any nigga kids. This is where I said like the level of experience with certain Koreans with black people sometimes does vary, because why you would think that was something you could say to me and I wasn't going to potentially retaliate against you is questionable. We're in Korea, where Koreans date Koreans. And so when it comes to their experiences with other cultures, it's very limited. And it's like sometimes they will say some very out-of-pocket comments, and then you're just sitting there looking like, I know you didn't just say that to me.
I'd say it's kind of like hard because, I don't know, I feel like even though Korea's becoming more open, it's still like, they still have a lot of stereotypes against black women out here. So you either think we're like really like easy or like down to try like a lot of things, or they're like, you know, kind of just want to try. I don't know. I feel like they go in with them like intentions, and it's kind of like awkward or weird.
To be honest, I never ever date a Korean guy. It will be possible, but for me, I'm a tall girl, black. The first thing I noticed when I said I tried to, is like flirting with a guy, or else I really felt the difference between being a foreigner girl as a black person and also the Korean girl. They like separate the both, and I was so shocked because I thought about the fact that since when doesn't matter like where you come from or your skin color. It should be only like the personality, or if you feel attracted to that person. But
my dating experience in Korea hasn't been so great, and I learned kind of the hard way Korean people don't really like black women so much. So I've tried to use a lot of Korean dating apps, and I used a lot of American dating apps, Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, etc., etc. And usually Korean people, if I use a Korean app, I get a lot of negative responses, and Korean people have told me I shouldn't be on the app, and they're not looking for people my color, things like that.
Yeah, you don't get taken seriously in the dating scene as well. Like, I feel like people kind of see you as like a transient, like, oh, you're not going to be here for a long time or whatever, so like I can say whatever, I can do whatever, and like it's not like that or whatever.
If you're a black woman in Korea, or you're just someone who's interested in dating Koreans in general, there are 3 things that you need to consider before you go out here in this battlefield known as dating. The first thing that you need to know is that most Korean men are just not that interested in dating a foreigner. And the very slim few who are interested in dating a foreigner, there's a racial hierarchy out there that you need to consider. Usually they will go for Asian first, white second, Latina third, and then black women last. So unfortunately, black women are often the very bottom of the totem pole when it comes to Korean men wanting to dating foreigners. Another aspect about dating in Korea is that they say don't use dating apps if you want to date someone seriously. They say in Korea that it's best if you have access to a Korean network. What do I mean by that? Basically, it just means that you need to have Korean friends. And quite frankly, that can be really hard as a foreigner, especially if you don't speak Korean or if you live in a rural area. And if you fall into one of those 2 categories, you're pretty much limited to the small amount of Koreans who speak English really well. So with that being said, let's say that you actually managed to make a Korean friend or 2, and you're like, yay, now I have access to a Korean network. Not really. So it really depends on the person. So, unless that person is a dickhead or kind of bitchy, that person may not be willing to introduce you to the eligible bachelors that they know, because they could see you as competition. And if they're competing for the same attention and affection from people, they might look at you as if someone who could possibly take away from that. So they may not want to introduce you to the people they know.
Struggles that we have had as Black girls dating Filipino guys here in the Philippines. Filipino men are shy. They think we're feisty. We are feisty. We are, like, we don't bite. Filipino guys are not attracted because we have darker skin. Sometimes you do find people who are interested, but they're interested for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Messaged me 2 before and was like, I want to have some of that chocolate. Go buy Nutella. I'm not chocolate. I'm a Black girl. Melanin. Filipinos, their family are so close-minded. I'm so sorry. I've actually never, ever in my life seen a relationship where the girl is Black, the guy is Filipino, and the whole family is like 100% into it. So never. Maybe we should be the first. Even in high school, I've tried having crushes on Filipino guys, but they always ditch me for a Filipino girl or a light-skinned girl.
Before I give you my intake, we're gonna take one more look at what do these Asian men actually think about Black girls, Black women, Black females.
Have you ever been on a date with a Black woman?
No, I have not. Because I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, most of them they don't look like good, bro. The ones that I see here, they just kind of look like lower class. I've never been inclined to like see a Black girl in Hongdae and just go up to her, get a number. I never felt that. But it's not because I'm racist, it's because like they don't look good. The white girls here, they don't look good either. I live in Korea, there's not many Black girls to choose from. And I have high standards, so the girl has to be beautiful, you know what I'm saying?
How beautiful are we talking about? Like, what are the features you find attractive?
Big eyes, small head, nice body, slender, but you know, she got the curves type shit. I see like in music videos and shit, in the rap, they're sexy and they look really pretty, some of them. You know what I'm saying? Like genetically gifted Black girls. But you don't really see like the top most beautiful Black girls in Korea. What would they be doing here? They in their native country, you know, getting the high value men. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think.
What is your Instagram ID?
_StoneC.
Date with Black girl.
Can I ask you why you're open to dating Black women?
Because I like Beyonce.
Oh, you like?
Yeah, like that. They are very good body. They have good body. Yeah, big boob and yeah, I like Black girl.
Like, you know,
yeah.
Where you come from, what you look like, what your culture is, will always matter. And anyone that tells you it doesn't matter, they're just lying to themselves about the reality, what those things actually mean. I think a lot of people always think that tradition means how to just be a good husband and a good wife. Tradition also means sticking to what is yours, sticking to what you look like, sticking to what you eat. Overall, continuing your culture and keeping that in the bloodline. Tradition is about culture just as much as it's about being a wife and being a husband. And a lot of these Black females, they're on social media way too much, listening to other people tell them, aka Black females, how they can just move to these countries, travel around the world, and find themselves another man from another culture and another race, putting them in predicaments that is very harmful, dangerous, and racist. And even the men that do or are interested in Black females, it's only a fetishization. They don't even see them as a woman, but sexual objects. Black females go to these countries and put themselves in situations that they would never have been in if they just stuck to their own. And what does that mean? Listening to Black men. Being a woman to Black men. Not being so masculine. Not choosing a man based off how much money he makes. And understanding that other races do not need to accept you and won't accept you. And if the man does, his family won't. But a lot of Black females don't want to listen. So they're finding out the hard way what other races and what other cultures really think about them. I support Black families, and I will always do my best to promote that, because I think it's important to advocate for what is good for the Black community. And I think it's also important for both men and women to realize that when you're traveling to these other countries, you need to understand that you're still black. And they see you for whatever they think you are, not for what you want them to see you as. In both instances, for both passport bros, passport sisters, there has been a lot of tragic situations that have been happening that are just dangerous. And not a lot of people want to talk about it, but we have to. So I'm just saying, if you're going to be going to these different countries, make sure you understand that you are still black and they will treat you that way and they see you that way. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Bye!